Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserredux at the CSA. Let's continue on from where we last left off. So, this is like my 5th time trying to record this episode. So hopefully this time we can maybe make something work. I don't know why, but Kaiserredux has been crashing every single time I've tried to basically do anything. We have no... I already saw... I launched the game and already had the glitch. We really can't do anything with our Navy. But maybe the glitch is a good sign. We are the last America standing. God bless America. Getting some more stability. We are at negative 31. Which is not great. Can I actually even upgrade the light tanks? No, I can't. But you know what? If I can play the game, I will consider that a victory. Instead of it just crashing every single time I try to do anything. Yes, we'll ignore you. Airwings and no missions. That's fine. I know we're still at war. I mean, we're still at war with the rest of the Entente. But I mean, like, there's not much we can really do about that at the moment. And I'm kind of okay with that. You guys here, though, we do need to make sure the Brazilians don't get too much done. He did eventually get to the port. So maybe I should have sent some guys there a little bit earlier. And you guys are still defending these port lines. That's okay. Like, Mexico, we shouldn't have any issues with you. But this army here, I mean, there's no reason to send you guys all the way up towards the north. What if you ever review this fallback line here? That's okay for now. We're 96 out of 90 in terms of our maximum supported divisions. It's only a 1.6% penalty, which is not so bad. Also, this is by far the longest I've actually had this actually work since I started trying to record this stuff. So the death of Big Bill Haywood. I know this. Look, it's hard to read it. Today, one of the titans of the industrial workers of the world and our leader throughout the revolution, William Big Bill Haywood, has passed away after suffering a stroke. His death has shaken the country to its core. Elizabeth Gurley Flynn spoke at the funeral, saying history has long-range perspective, ultimately passed a stern judgment on tyrants and vindicates those who fought, suffered, and were imprisoned and died for human freedom, against political oppression and economic slavery. Many other leaders within various union organizations, including his rivals in the AFL, also spoke at the funeral, as well as leaders within the Socialist Party of America. Jack Reed also spoke at the funeral, ending his speech with some of Haywood's quotes. If the workers are organized, all they have to do is put their hands in their pockets. They have got the capitalist class whipped. A strike is an implicit resolution. Many large revolutions have grown from out of a small strike. Remember that you are fighting more. You're fighting for more than just your own fight. You're fighting for the entire working class, and you must stand together. Jack Reed will be interim president until a new one can be found. So we're going to lose 50% stability. So we're at negative 50. I would consider that to be absolutely awful. Again, we want to make sure... We basically just want to make sure Brazil doesn't send more units here. I mean, again, how many troops are actually in the Entente right now? Less than what we have, so I mean, that's completely okay. Mexico should be able to deal with any of these other naval invasions. I mean, these 28 troops I have on the southern border, I guess 30 divisions actually on the southern border, probably are not going to come into play right now. This guy right here is going to march, and march. I think that is completely acceptable. And yeah, we shall surround Quebec City. Because we do need to, we need to invade France. I'm just, like, not too sure how exactly we do that. We can probably wait until either France and the Commune are at war, and then get military access to the Commune. I mean, that could work. I mean, German Empire is pretty close to capitulating right now. I'm just trying to think, like, because you won't give us military access. I mean, what if I justify a war against you? 35 days. What we can do is we can declare war on the German Empire, and then get military access through France and naval invade Algiers. It's a weird choice, but I think it's legitimately the only choice we actually have. Well, it's the only choice we have if we want to win this war soon. We could wait a while. I mean, I know we're having horrible penalties right now. You know, stability is completely garbage, but that's okay, you know? Sometimes things are garbage and sometimes things are great. You can't have both all the time, right? You've got to have some semblance of balance there. You've actually left Quebec City. I feel like that's a mistake on your part for sure. So let's just kill this Brazilian unit. Ukraine has capitulated. That is completely okay. Poland is part of the Reichspakt. I mean, the Reichspakt has no strength. They can't do much. I mean, we're going to get some more tanks deploying soon as well, which is not bad. We do need more factories. More factories would allow us to produce more units. I'm assuming we're on probably like civilian economy or something like that. What are we on? Yeah, we're on civilian economy. Unfortunately. And I don't think I can increase it because I cannot click any of those buttons. But maybe one day I'll be able to click those buttons. If I cross my fingers and pray, we might get something here done. Or I build more factories. I guess that's also a possibility for us. Do I have any factories actually building? No, 181 for consumer goods. The tooltip does not actually work, so I'm not too sure why exactly we only have that much. But there's not too much I can do about that. So you guys can just go live in Boston after you've taken over all this region. So overall, I would say we're looking pretty good. I don't know what just finished. Was it a spy? I actually have no idea. Just a civilian military, and that's all the information I got. I actually also can't click any of these buttons. Who needs to click buttons, though? I do wish I at least knew what the glitch was, so that I could maybe do something about it. How about you guys? You go to Algiers. You go to Spain. Those both seem relatively okay. Okay, you're all fighting the Princely Federation. You're all part of the Cross Prosperity Theory. You're fighting against the Union of Burma. I am wondering, like, what exactly I need to do. Because I need to fight the French, right? Like, we need to get our troops over there. Again, we can declare war on you. And it would technically work. Because I don't think the Kingdom of France probably will not attack. They probably won't return to the continent while they're at war with us. Maybe the Commune of France will have the ability to attack these guys directly. I'm not too sure. But actually, once they kill the German Empire, Middle Africa will then become the German government in exile. They can join the Entente and then declare war on the Internationale. But I feel like that's going to take way too long. Like, I don't have any ports. Do I have a navy even? I do. Yeah, let's send you guys down here. Delete all your old plans, because I don't know what they actually were. The thing is, like, you don't have enough naval range to get there. And we need to get somewhere in this general direction. Or to Spain. Are you my puppet? What are you? No, you just exist. That's not meaningful at all. Of course, you're owned by Portugal. You are owned by the Dutch. All of that is not incredibly useful information. Again, join the Internationale. I mean, it would give us the momentum. Not really the momentum. It'll give us the military access that we need. Maybe we do just declare war on Germany. Because again, I just need the military access. They like us a lot. Is there never a way to get military access? I could ask for docking rights. Same ideology, so I'm surprised like that doesn't. I mean, we'll get docking rights, but I don't think you can't have more than 100 opinion of us. I believe you can't have 200. And even 200 actually would not be enough. Can't guarantee independence. Then that Hache wouldn't actually do anything for us either. I mean, are you at war with anybody else? You're just at war with the Princely Federations. Like, you get military access through them. But, I mean, how does that help? We can use it to kill Dominion Delhi, or use them to invade Muscat. Or invade the south? Like, really, I don't think there's a great option for us for doing a naval invasion. Other than trying to invade our way to the Caribbean, and then invade Brazil itself? Like, we can invade Brazil, but I feel like invading Brazil is possibly the worst possible choice for us, honestly. We'll just send, let's say, 2 divisions onto that. Yeah, because you're just not. No, you could go like this. Would that work? 0 to 1. Too far away. So the answer is no, it doesn't work. But why does it not work? I don't know. So we'll just have naval superiority down here. Prepare an invasion of the Caribbean and use that as basically a launching point. How long will that take? It'll take 14 days. Honestly, I don't even think we need 14 days. Just 7 days. I doubt they'd have too many troops in that location. So we should be doing our Constitutional Convention soon. The convention has begun! Today, delegates have gathered from across the country in the city of Philadelphia as the Second Constitutional Convention is convened in order to draft a new and better constitution for the United States. With the syndicalists victorious in internal debates during the war, and the IWW is representing many AFL affiliates in Congress, effectively nullifying the old social patriots' chance of coming out on top, although the remaining ones still influence votes and can act as kingmakers in ties. Other interest groups that swore to leash to Haywood have also shown up, including members of the now defunct Knights of Labor, the Nationalist Independence League, and the National Civic Federation, as well as Jane Berman's America's Worker Party. The most radical of these smaller labor federations is the Trade Union Unity League. This organization, represented by William Z. Foster, represents the resurgence of vanguardism in the States. A small riot on the second day erupted when the International Peace Mission and Southern Tenant Farmers Union were ejected from the convention. These unions had been neutral during the revolution and were initially accepted due to their high percentage of black membership. I mean, we can... Yeah, you know what? Let's begin to rebuild the economy. I think that seems like something that makes sense. Let's really rebuild the economy in any way that you actually can at the moment. You're going to launch it one day, and I think that's okay. I know, again, we're dealing with all these, like, visual glitches. And as much as that sucks, the alternative is having the game crash repeatedly. And I prefer the visual glitches. And I guess it's also visual glitches as well as all the, you guys, are any of you bored? None of you have naval ports. This sucks. I was like, if you could maybe have somewhere to, like, land. Like, if you could take, like, this port, get military access. You know, I'm going to get military access through you right now. Just in case this becomes something that we need to worry about. So, the Socialist Constitution System of Government. A coalition of SPA party members have made a splash in what had been expected to be a landslide victory for the IWW. While supposed to be an easy article, that of the new legislative branch has drawn controversy between the centralists and the orthodox syndicalists. The IWW representatives argued that America should be strictly a anarcho-syndicalist government with all legislative power vested in the industrial trade unions. The TUUL is roughly in agreement, but believe that dual unionism must end and a single union, namely the TUUL, should represent the workers, which Foster called a form of proletariat unity against the reactionary bourgeoisie. On the other hand was James Burnham, Earl Browder, and some SPA moderates who argued that the political party politics should decide political representation, arguing that it be made it easier to experienced leaders to lead the way, and a way for those not directly in worker unions to participate in elections. A victory for them would shift politics in favor of the centralists and give them a stronger hope of securing later elections, but would only be possible if they flipped enough to IWW centrists and remaining social patriots who did not flee or were not removed after losing the internal power struggle. So, of course, we want to boost up... Yeah, we want to boost up support for Totalist. I think they at least need to be the biggest faction. Right now, the Nationalist... No, right now the Unionists still have a little bit more power. But we want to basically support the Totalists as much as we possibly can. It would be hilarious if these guys actually got France to capitulate. I don't know how many troops they actually have. I mean, they have 6 to 42 divisions. So they're not going to win, but it'd be hilarious if they did. The Socialist Constitution, the Framework. Article 1. All power in America derives from the people and belongs to the people. The people exercise state power through approved political parties, which constitute the political foundation of America. All other state bodies are under control and accountable of the party and or parties chosen to represent the worker. Article 2. All the representative organs of state authority are elected by either citizens or party representatives. Unions reserve the right to deny workers memberships if their membership fees fall into the public debt. The workers' representatives in all organs of state authority are responsible to their electors. It will be determined by law in which cases, under which conditions, and in what way the electors may recall the representatives even before the end of the period in which they were elected. Article 3. No law or administration or local rules and regulations shall contravene the Constitution. So we get 20 political power from that. Can't really spend it. I mean, I could spend it. No, I cannot spend it because these funds, again, don't really work. And the Constitution of the Judiciary. The IWW has made a strong impression for removing the Supreme Court. It's a final appeal of constitutionality instead of making the appellate courts carry that weight. Reminding members of the convention of the court's track record in legalizing oppression of unions and downright reactionary laws, Elizabeth Gurney Flynn remarked that preserving an unelected position of the final legal decision could lead to authoritarianism. To the surprise of many, Earl Browder of the SBA dissented, arguing that the discrimination was a result of a corrupt party system and not an inherent flaw in the U.S. Constitution. For Browder, moving the Supreme Court would endanger the unity of the nation and lead to more schisms, as happened in the Soviet Union, instead arguing that the President and Congress should still be able to appoint the Supreme Court, but can also remove justice they and executives find unacceptable. The AFL, nationalists, and other social patriots have quietly dissented in their vanguardist cohort and pledged to support Flynn in a resolution passes. Meanwhile, the AWP praises Browder's position as for being a socialist as it is American. We've said Foster, of course, was in favor of removing the Supreme Court, and fanatically so. We'll get judicial review in the court. Get another 10% support for the total list, so they're now at 50%. I'm just saying, if you could theoretically, I don't know if you have any troops. If you can like just capture Tunis and Algiers and just win the war for us, that'd be hilarious. This is status of the president. A surge of unaligned delegates have attempted to leave for recess several times to no avail. It appears that the issue of executive power has met an impasse, and a decision must be made before the delegates starve in indecision. On one side is the IWW, whose plan for a totally anarcho-syndicalist government requires there essentially not be an executive officer, and they instead be a purely symbolic power with more sway over diplomatic or internal negotiations. Their belief is that a president is an inherently reactionary populist position, and they will ensure that a person like Huey Long can never rise to power in a new America. Relative moderates, such as Dak Reed and Robert Minor, support a head of state that is beholden to Congress and is beholden to their interests. The opposition is another cooperation between Browder and Burnham, who argue that a president with powers independent of congressional authority is needed as a commander-in-chief, imploring us to use practical tactics against our enemies, against them, as well as adopt a position more Americans are familiar with. Foster merely argued that an anarchist position for the against the anarchist position for the first time in their long alliance, breaking over the issue of abolishing the executive position, although he did not side with either centralists or the orthodox on the power of the presidency. We have a controllable president or an independent. Of course, we want an independent president. Al Capone would answer to no man. And this is now the wage debate. The convention, as resuming, has found themselves more divided than ever. The core of the IWW was galvanized into a stricter dogma that pushes for the remaining articles to protect against tyranny of the central government, demanding protection through the lifetime assurances of union membership and abolishment of traditional wages as we know it now. Several IWW delegates have implied that the AFL has been antagonistic and would prefer to return to capitalism had they not lost their earlier debate during the war. The TUUL is in full agreement with the IWW, calling all other party positions reactionary. Browder again takes a stage calling to protect craft unionism, stating that while egalitarianism should be our goal, abolishing wages would weaken our economy. Once again, George Burnham has a George Ballard stance, although he clarifies that he merely sees it as a step in the right direction rather than a good in and of itself. So dignity of labor or guaranteed employment will stop tyrants, and radicals getting a little bit of control, but again, we should have more than enough to kind of deal with everything else. Yeah, we'll get non-aggression packs with these guys as well, not a big deal. So, you know, what do we... Probably more rifles, right? I mean, are we missing anything? Rifles. So, yeah. Let's throw another 10 into rifles. And where should the capital be? I mean... Why not... You know, Chicago, the home of the revolution. We'll just keep it there. Seems acceptable enough to me. Where are you guys going? You're just defending the ports. Okay, fair enough. Oh, yeah, you guys landed here. That's nice. I completely forgot you were even here, to be quite honest. And the election has happened. The Constitutional Convention has finally come to an end, and a new Constitution of America has been written. The delegates are returning to their home states, a new set of allies and rivals. Despite the optimism expressed in the congratulatory photos, the real work of rebuilding the country had just begun, as the election to determine the leadership of the nation under a new Constitution will arrive in 3 days. Long live the workers of America. How much supplies do you actually have here? Let's send half of you here for now. I still want you to go take over these other islands. Our navy. Delete all your old plans. And come to this port. Yes. That is your new port. And it looks like we do have enough naval range to maybe get something done. So we'll get a naval invasion plan ready to go to the car. Of course, we don't. The car's not our final target. We landed the car, and then we try to land our way up north towards Al. Wait, you're taking a port. How long can you hold that port for? I don't know. But if you can hold that port long enough, delete. I need to get this one going first. All 24 stacks go there. All of you try to go here as well. If you can make it there, that's great. We're going to have you stay here and just get ready for this naval invasion. Just in case this doesn't work. And I'm going to take a guess and say that it doesn't. The election should be, I think, tomorrow? The election! On the final day of Congress, okay, let me read it again. On the final day of Congress, William Haywood, better known as Bill Haywood, announced that he would step down as leader of the country. Rumors of his deteriorating health were kept away from the press. Gentleman's agreement of sorts. Bill Haywood proclaims that he will spend the remaining time with his wife. I mean, he's dead, right? Didn't he have like a... Oh, no, he had a stroke. I don't think he died. And sadly, moreover, Haywood emphasized his role was to see the country through the revolution, but a new leader needs to lead it now. Of the attendees of the Congress, two have gained the most prominence. One is Earl Browders, currently Secretary of Communications, who has taken his allies for state-planned economy and begun advertising his own campaign in state media. The other, William Z. Foster, a major force of the Constitutional Convention for getting the AFL to advocate centralism, who has called into his connections for his campaign. There's also a black sheep in the candidates. Union boss and pawned businessman Alphonse Capone. Loved amongst the Chicago working class and greatly respected for his contributions to the war effort through weaponry and cash. He does, however, possess suspicious connections to the underground black market and allegedly even organized crime. Finally, there's William Berman's America's Worker Party, led by a recruitment campaign in the more conservative areas of the CSA, and whose technocratic wing supports research departments during the war. While many view his managerless philosophy as bizarre, he does have a strong delegate support within the AFL-associated groups such as the IFPTE and the IAM, as well as the assortment of smaller labor unions close to the AWP. This means that despite centralism winning the day, the TUL opponents are for the TUL opponents, he's likely their last hope of averting their victory. There is an understanding that even though this position is leadership and interim until the election, it would still allow the president to exert a great deal of influence over the country's groundwork. Well, of course, Alphonse Capone is taking control of the country. Jimmy Hoffa, Lucky Lucio, all of your favorites are now here to lead the country to a better future. By the way, please do not lose this port. I swear to God. Like, we're on our way. Al Capone's Mafia has seized power in America. Hopefully the song is not copyrighted. But I do think that at least for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks very much for watching. My name is Ants William. If you enjoyed, my thumbs up. Now, just click thumbs down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.